Plugs Ahmed too, bro. Talk to us.
All right, now, so y'all know how I'm kind of like from the Griselda camp. I'm kind of a Conway dude. Like that's my dude, right?
Yeah.
Like from the beginning, I was like, yo, Conway, like there's something special about the way he spits. So I've always been a big fan of his. And Benny came along, and I was like, he's dope. He's crazy dope too. But I was still running with Conway. With the run that Benny is having, I might have to switch it up, man.
You swaying your opinion?
I might have to. I might have to put Benny above Conway, man. I still think Conway.
About this for a minute.
Listen, I still think Conway got the raw like gift. But Benny just puts out projects that just like hit you in the ribs, bro.
Oh yeah, soul projects.
Like, he keeps doing it, yo. First of all, number one, shout out to Benny, like Griselda in general, but Benny has been, I feel like, carrying bars on his back.
Yes.
But with like he's eyeing the mainstream. You know what I mean? So he's trying to bring the bars to the mainstream. Conway got the bars, but I feel like he's comfortable in his little niche, right? His little niche, just in the cut. You know, not too much shine. Benny's trying to come for that spot, man. So shout out to that. Shout out to Harry Fraud, who I'm not a huge fan of, but he kind of laced Benny with some heaters, bro. And some like lush, rich soundscapes that Benny can really get off on and like paint pictures to. It was crazy, man. I feel like people are going to compare this to Plugs Ahmed 1, obviously, because it's part 2. And I feel like people would be doing themselves a disservice by doing that.
Hold on, Sin. Don't go in.
Okay. All right. Got you.
That's gonna be part of this.
All right, cool.
We gonna put that together. Dini, Plugs Ahmed too.
Beautiful marriage, man. Beautiful beats. With beautiful lyrics. Not one bar was wasted on that album, bro.
Wasted motion.
The precision with the bars. The flow. Shout out to Harry Fraud. He brought it. When I usually hear Fraud, I usually hear him doing this thing on like Jim Jones kind of beats, French Montana kind of beats. But he brought a nice side, kind of the way Hit Boy brought out a nice side of Nas. I like the side that Harry Fraud brought out of Benny. But it's the lyrics, bro. For me, like it's really the precision of the bars, man. It's so accurate. It's so hard hitting, and I feel like he brought that. Yeah, bro. The way it comes out, it's like, why did he come up with that? This kid's like really rapping in the era where like rapping has went to the side. You know what I'm saying? So I'm impressed. I'm definitely impressed.
You know what? Before I even get into what I thought about the album, you make a point about how effortless it is. What Benny did, especially with a couple of his features on this album, it shows you the clear divide in bar work. Like people that might sound okay alone, you can hear standing or rhyming next to a Benny the Butcher, you know? But with this project, the first thing that came to mind for me was it seemed like Harry Fraud saved all of his good beats for Benny, because I heard the project and I think it's coming off of El Capo and the El Capo Deluxe. I was like, oh, I'm ready for this Jim album. And I was supremely disappointed with this project. I was bored. And the only track that I loved from the Jim Jones and Harry Fraud project was the joint with Mano, Cuts in Your Eyebrow. So I was concerned about this project. Then we hit an intro, but then we get into overall. And I'm like, ooh, okay, we get Tanks on this too. Just the overall production, it seemed like I was texting the homie Mace, and I was like, it seemed like Harry backed out all the lush samples. Everything sounded so lush. Everything more glossy. Like instead of going to the corner store, he went to Neiman's and got some things. And he got this project. All the samples hit, all the drums hit, all the sounds hit. Forget the bars, it's just the sounds, the acoustics. Everything was elite on this project. And there's a concern. You come with burden of proof. Although Plugs Ahmed is his own series, Plugs I Met 2 is the follow to Burden of Proof. That's how we looking at it. This is the latest edition.
It comes right after. So yeah.
Right. How are you gonna acoustically deliver a project after the beautiful sounds of Burden of Proof? And I feel as though I was concerned, will Benny take a step back? When guys have this much of a run, at some point there's a misstep. I was concerned. There was no misstep here.
At all.
Were there, the beats were there. This was a hell of a project. I'll say this, the only gripe I had, and it's a sincere gripe. Some of those songs were too short. Some of them ended a little too abruptly when I needed a third verse, or even just a bridge. It was so good that I wanted more. I didn't want to matter. I wanted a whole main course. But Sin, coming back to your main point about Plugs I Met 2 and comparing it to Plugs I Met 1, I want you to go on that point because I got a big gripe about the fans talking about this project. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. The chatter that I've seen around the internet is that Benny is falling off, or that Benny is, deserting his fan base or his sound or whatever. Y'all gotta let that man like spread his wings, man, and go where he wants to go with the sounds. The thing I've realized about Burden of Proof and now this project is that even if you take him out of the aesthetic that we're used to hearing him in, he's still gonna come off. So like he's still delivering on beats that like the super purist, super like Derringer Alchemist fans, they may not dig these beats, but he's still coming off. And like somebody like me, like y'all know, like I'm the purist or whatever, but I'm listening to these Harry Fraud beats, especially with Overall, the way like the beat switches and then comes back. I'm like, bro, like Harry Fraud is doing his thing. He's going in on these beats, and like I'm not really digging the what the people are saying that like, that Benny is like, like deserting his sound, right? Because it again, Benny wants to. I feel like Benny has that spot, that number one spot in his vision, in his crosshairs, and he's not going to get there by just staying in the Griselda niche, right? The Griselda niche brought him here, and we all love that. But let that man do what he do, man. That's
what you think about that, Dini?
Like to piggyback on what you and Sid said, like even though like, cause Griselda's known for that hard hitting hardcore hip hop. I feel like even though this was hard hitting and hardcore, like to say what you say, Jav, it was just smooth though, bro. Like
right.
Even the hard records were smooth. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not easy to do, to take a hardcore record and smooth it out like that, where it's just like the whole. I'm not even a driver like that, but the whole album is a car vibe, bro. Like you can ride out. It's the album's an experience. So yeah, like I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah, man.
For me, with that topic, I'm starting to really take issue with hip hop fans having this habit of when your favorite artist becomes popular, you automatically say his new stuff is not as good as his old stuff. We have to stop doing that. Benny, unlike a lot of rappers in the past who had a certain sound and they blew up and they went completely away from it, Benny is literally taking us on his journey from street dude to famous guy. We have each project as a different point in Benny's life, and we are seeing the transition. Instead of being upset about it not being a Derringer production, y'all should be thankful for this ride, because he's literally giving you a first-person perspective of where he's at in his life. The whole thing about Plugs I Met too, if y'all listen to the bar work, all of his hood stories are all past tense now. It's cautionary tales now. It's not I'm super trapper anymore. It was I was a super trapper.
It's that shit that Hov used to give.
Exactly.
Plugs I met, not plugs I know.
Right.
That. He's not saying you shouldn't go through that, but he's saying I did that. You can even get that he's rich and famous and he's not even comfortable being in that spot. So instead of you lamenting that it's not Derringer, think about the fact that there's a guy with money, this guy with jewels. He's getting everything he ever dreamed of, but he's not comfortable there. Why are we not talking about that? And then with the bar work, he didn't go completely commercial. It's the
at all
sound, but now he's putting the roids on it now. He's turning the volume up on it now. We talk about the song itself, Plug Talk, the sample on that. It's my Oh my goodness! Like I was mad. Put it this way, I was mad that 2 Chainz was on that because he's one of the guys that he might sound cool alone, but then when you put his ABC bars next to complexities of Benny the Butcher, it's not a good relationship. It's not a good marriage. But the samples are there. The boom bappery is still there, but now it's just a little cleaner. Why be mad at that? Be thankful that this dude is so thoughtful of his fans. Is like, I'm not gonna go away from what works. Can y'all take this ride with me? Stop being mad.
Yeah, and some of the fans can't, and that tells me that these fans are not fans of his. As they're not Benny fans as an artist. They're just fans of the aesthetic.
Yes.
Too rigid.
You know what I mean?
Too rigid.
The Damager aesthetic, the Alchemist aesthetic, which I love, right? But then you take him out of that, and he's still bringing you bars. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what y'all want, right? That's what we want. We want the bar. He's still giving us the bars. So what's the problem?
How can you be mad at a person who's trying to take what we love and go as far as he can? There's a limit, because exactly. That's what we're seeing, how not changing your sound, not even changing, but tweaking your sound is limiting Conway, who's in the camp. Conway's not getting his just due because he's comfortable staying in his spot when more people should be hearing how great he is. You know what I mean? Benny's decided that he learned the lessons of Westside. You can tell he's watching these guys. He's learning how to put concise bodies of work together. Like you could almost argue that Plugs I'm At 2 is more of a West Side project front to back with the vibes, the beats, for the track to track transitions, how there was one common narrative theme throughout the project. He's learning and he's trying to grow with it. Y'all should be thankful for that. I don't even mean to sound like a dick rider, but it's like we've seen a lot of people go commercial and never look back.
I don't get it, man. It's like people that I see people talking about this Benny dichotomy and being upset about it, and then knowing that they're like fans of like Biggie. You know what I mean? Like and big, from Ready to Die to Life After Death, Biggie, like that's the same transition he made, right? He
can't stay the same forever.
You know what I mean? Like Biggie made a more rapid transition than Benny has, as far as from one sound to the next sound. If you want to make the argument, they're gonna get upset with us saying that, but it's a fact. Life After Death sound completely different.
Completely different.
What it is. Even Hove, Reasonable to Volume 1, those are 2 different sounds.
Different, yeah.
You know what I mean? Benny has been low key, just like I'm gonna do a little bit here, a little bit there. Oh, Plugs I'm At 1 was better. How you know that? Like, really? You really believe that, or you just don't
before the shit even came out, bro? Like that.
Can't save everybody.
Don't get me wrong. Like if I see 2 Chainz and French Montana as features, it's gonna rub me the wrong way.
Right.
But honestly speaking, I don't even feel like they took away from the project. I'm not even fan. I'm not fans of them at all.
Yeah, 2 Chainz actually had a surprisingly okay verse, which was very surprising to me.
But 2 Chainz wants to be a really good rapper. He understood the moment. French Montana on his best day can't even be what 2 Chainz is. And y'all know how I feel about 2 Chainz.
Man.
Like honestly, Longevity is the one song I could do without. Like if you would have gave me 2 Benny verses, I'd have been cool with that. But I'll tell you this. Another thing that might upset people that no one's really talking about, fellas, and I'll throw it to y'all, throw it to Dini. How do you feel about this being the first Griselda project in a while that didn't have any Griselda features? There was no
Yep.
I think that all goes back into what we were saying about him trying to set himself aside, set himself apart, and do his own thing. Like every time when you have a project and you always have Benny, you always have. It's basically another Griselda album in a small way. You know what I'm saying? I think your man said, let me give him the part of me that I want to give him. Let me give him a sound that he did it all on his own, which I respect. But you can't have everybody on your track all the time. You know what I'm saying? He probably had a specific direction for the album, specific cut, specific motion, and they just wasn't a part of that motion. They're family, bro. They're always gonna be around for all the fans that think, oh my God, he's getting away from Griselda. Like they're family, bro. They will always rock out. You know what I'm saying? It just you gotta set the tone. You know what I'm saying? He set the tone.
I really feel like I think Westside feels like his job is done, kind of, and he's
the
not
plates
like
are set, bro.
Right. He's not like micromanaging and overseeing everything that's Griselda related. At this point, Conway's his own dude, Benny's his own dude. West Side's like, I'm my own dude. Like, we're gonna do what we want to do now, right? Because
everybody found their lane.
Because the pieces have already been put in place, and that's where, and that's where you see that Benny is trying to take it a little bit further than the niche that everybody is so comfortable with and so accustomed to.
Absolutely. All right, fellas, we've come to the point, as we do customary on these reviews, it's time to give our grades. For a little change, I'll go first. I'll give Plugs I Met 2 4 out of 5. Strong project. It's not a flawless victory. There's a few tracks, like I said, I don't really care for longevity. Survivor's Remorse is solid. You know what I mean? I don't really love the BSF acts as much as other people might, but it was cool. Those are the 2 tracks that were cool to me. Like I said, like Thanksgiving will be a good final track for the project. It ended up being the last track of the project. So
there you go. You called it.
I'm gonna thank myself, but good. I feel like Benny has kept the ball rolling. He hasn't lost a step, and as of right now, Benny has supplanted Pusha T as my favorite rapper going.
Oh shit!
Big talk.
Big talk.
Big talk. I think I'm also go the way I'm feeling right now. I'm gonna go with a solid 4. I mean, the only thing is that I also gave Burden of Proof a 4 originally. I might have to go revisit that, and maybe that gets bumped up a little bit because it's a little longer, and I feel like it's a little more complete. But a solid 4.
4 is accurate. 4 is a good call. Not perfect, but definitely up there. Memorable. Definitely will be tuned in again for several more listens. 4 is accurate. I can give it up with 4.
I like it. 4 across the board from the round table. Of course, R.I.P. Chinks. We'd be remiss if we don't say that. It was good to hear Chinks on the record.
R.I.P. Chinks. R.I.P. Nipsey too, because I think when this drops, it'll be Nipsey was March 31st, if I'm not mistaken, right?
This is dropping tomorrow morning, bro.
Oh shit! We even raving. You know what I'm saying? Snowshot. R.I.P. Nipsey.
You kidding me?
On deck.
This is the Rap Roundtable. We'll be back real soon. I think episode 27 is next up for us. We'll be on deck in about a week and a half. Look out for that. And if any news breaks, we're going to talk about it right here on Zoom. Fellas,
on it.
You already know the vibe. Peace and love.